Now we are going to be deploying this application inside of a Docker container. And before we get too far, I want to go through and review the Docker image creation. I did cover this previously in the course. In case you missed it or skipped over it, I'm going to cover it again here. If you are good with that content, go ahead and skip to the next video right now. This could be a little bit redundant for you, but people do take the course and jump around in it a little bit. So I want to cover it, how that Docker image is getting created from Gradle. So we are using a JHipster project here. And I have the build.gradle file up. And if we scroll down to there at line 103, we can see that it's doing an apply from Docker Gradle. So that's telling it to bring in this Docker Gradle file over here. So let's go ahead and take and inspect him. And we can see that he's been set up. And now we also have these properties here, Docker host and Docker cert path. These are important for the Circle CI environment. So we are running Circle CI for our builds. And we can see here that I am using registry credentials. These are set up as properties so that we can log into Docker Hub. And this is all done through Circle CI configuration. So I've set up my CI build to utilize this. And right now when we do a build Docker, I do have a couple tasks here. So it's going to build it. It will tag it with the tag of latest and also the project version. And I do have two tasks here. The version of the Docker plugin, it will support an array of tags in the build, but it does not support array of tags when you want to do a push. So it requires you to do two separate build steps. So down there on line 55 and line 63 are tasks to push, one by the tag of latest and one by the tag of the project version. Now the way this gets configured in Circle CI is the config.yaml. And we can see that we go through here, we go through the build, and if we get through a successful build, we get down here to the bottom on line 63. And this says to build the Docker image, it should be build and push. And we can see that we do a Gradle W boot repackage and pass it the prod flag. And we say push Docker latest, push Docker version tag, and that's what pushes it up. And again, this is being done through the Circle CI build. I'm not going to recover the Circle CI build stuff here. And I'm also using a Docker image on Circle CI just to remind you that I set up specifically to include dependencies for the JHipster build. So Circle CI gives you a vanilla Docker image that's going to use for the build that has the JVM installed, and things like Gradle and Maven are already pre-installed. So I'm taking that and enhancing it with some of the build tools that we need to complete the build for JHipster, so that I'm not redoing those all the time. And then the final command is, after we get through the successful build, this runs those custom Docker commands I showed you in the docker.gradle file. So that last command is running these two right here. Now, that does push up to Docker, so you can go out to my repository on Docker, Spring Framework Guru, and the RFB loyalty app. And right now, if you look at tags, we can see we have latest and the 001-snapshot. So we're going to work with that snapshot version for right now. And towards the end of this section, I'm going to show you how to perform a release. But these are the two things that are up there inside the Docker repository. So I can pull down this image from anywhere in the world. So this is open to read to the whole world. So we can pull down this image anywhere and run it. And we're going to leverage this inside of our AMI image that we just stood up previously to use Docker to bring down this Docker image and run it inside a Docker container inside of that CentOS image running on AWS. And we will show you that in an upcoming video.